How's it? So, how to choose a transfer attorney when you are selling your home. And maybe if I can just explain what transfer attorneys do, conveyances. This will sort of help you with a more informed decision and give you a better understanding of the process. So let's start off with, it is the seller's discretion or right to choose the transfer attorneys, the conveyancers. Okay. As an agent, we can recommend conveyancing attorneys to the seller. The purchaser pays the costs of the transfer, and the seller gets to choose. The reason that being is you don't want the power, of the transfer too much in one person's hands. You don't want it necessarily just in the buyer's hands, and you don't want it necessarily in the seller's hands only, right? You can sometimes get buyers requesting to use an attorney that they select. This is because they might get a discount, they might get who knows, whatever reason. But you also have to be careful of that as an agent and a seller, because the agent might not know this transfer attorney, this conveyancer. The seller might not know them, and this buyer's conveyancer might be the old tunny, his tunny from 10 years ago, that is doing him a favor, a family member that's not actually a conveyancer. And you as agent and seller and buyer need to be comfortable and have trust with that attorney that they are doing the right job, they're doing things correctly on time, and that they know what they're doing. So that's something we recommend against. We like to recommend the attorneys to the seller because we as the agents know these attorneys. We have a trust and a good relationship with them. We know how they operate. We know that they can get the job done. We know that they're doing things correctly on time, and that they are, one of the most important things, giving people feedback. Well, there's a couple of very important things. Giving people feedback, and that you can actually get hold of them and that they respond to you. There are so many of these types of attorneys out there that are just beyond, I don't know what's the word I want to use, beyond help, beyond useless, and it's very difficult dealing with them. And all that happens is, in the transfer process, the buyer and the seller, if nobody can get hold of this attorney and they're doing things incorrectly and they're not getting back to people, the buyer and seller then come to the agent and are looking for answers. Yet the agent has got nothing to do with the transfer attorneys. Yes, the agent has to try and see you through the transfer as best as possible, but the transfer attorneys are there to advise you as the seller and buyer, and the transfer attorneys control the transfer process. The agent doesn't control the transfer process in any manner. So it's vitally important that you get somebody that you've used before, that you trust, or that an agent recommends to you. And for all those reasons that I've just mentioned. If you and like I say, if you can't get hold of those transfer attorneys, that comes back to the agent, and it really makes the agent's job really difficult because they don't have the answers for you. Like I said, the transfer attorney is controlling the process, and they are the right people to speak to give you the correct information. They can best advise on how long the transfer is going to take, how much longer it has, where it is exactly in the process. They know all the bits and pieces, all the ins and outs of the transfer, and yet coming back to the agent to get answers on the transfer, that agent has to go to the transfer attorney, call them or mail, hello, where are we at, what's happening, and then the agent can also, if it's a bad transfer attorney, the agent might not get that response, or you get a very limited response, and you can only give a limited answer back to the buyer and seller. So a good transfer attorney is best placed to give you as the seller and the buyer the best information, where exactly it is in process, what's next, what's required, and what everyone needs to do. Again, going back to why we like to suggest as agents the use of particular transfer attorneys, it's because we know them. We give them, we hand over a lot of transfers to them. We know exactly how they operate, that they are good, that they are going to keep on top of things, and it makes the agent's job and life that much easier. Going back to a bad transfer or conveyancing attorney, it's no good for anybody's life, seller, buyer, and agent. So choose somebody that you have confidence in, that you trust, and also trust your agent that they are recommending the right people as well. They do this every day. They know who the people are. They know who they're working with, and they know and they can recommend them because it makes them comfortable and makes their lives easier.